History. The rapidly growing industry of blockchain has been a popular topic of discussion in recent years. The incredible increase in Bitcoin's price has made many people interested in this emerging technology, and new applications using the blockchain are made almost every day. But where did it all start? A lot of sources connect the birth of the blockchain with the invention of Bitcoin, but in reality, while Bitcoin incorporated all the concepts and created a functioning system, the concepts and technologies behind it were described long before Bitcoin. Electronic cash. In 1983, a computer scientist and cryptographer by the name of David Chaum came up with the idea behind eCash. He described eCash as an anonymous cryptographic electronic money or electronic cash system, which could be used to transfer funds anonymously. For that, he invented the blinding formula, a digital signing formula in which a message is hidden before being signed, making it possible to transfer a document that is signed by a third party, without giving the third party the ability to read the document. This invention introduced anonymity to payment systems, and it is the idea behind the use of public and private keys that are still used today. The first time something resembling a blockchain was described, it was the early 1990s. In 1991, two scientists, Stuart Haber and W. Scott Stornetta, described timestamping of digital documents and creating a network of users to store and validate cryptographically secured documents. This theory was described as a solution to eliminate the theft of documents and plagiarism. To test their system, they created a network of computers which would all validate and store the documents. They time-stamped the digital documents with the use of cryptography, which allowed the network of users to see if a document had been altered and to confirm the rightful owner of the documents. If someone tried to alter a document, it would be easily seen, and the corrupt version of the document would be discarded. This theory was further improved upon in 1992 by David Bayer, Scott Haber, and W. Scott Stornetta by introducing Merkle trees into the mix. This introduced a new structure to how the documents were stored and made the protocol more effective, reducing the storage and the total computing power needed to validate certifications. Smart contracts. A few years later, in 1995, one of David Chaum's former employees, cryptographer Nick Szabo, came up with the idea of smart contracts. Smart contracts are essentially contracts that work on the blockchain. Nick Szabo himself compared smart contracts to vending machines. When enough money is put inside and a product is chosen, it triggers the machine to drop the specific product. Smart contracts are used to automate different contractual processes, making them partially or fully self-executing. After he described the theory behind smart contracts, Nick designed a digital currency called BitGold that ran on a decentralized network, which is often called the precursor of Bitcoin. The main idea behind the system was that when transactions are made, they are broadcast to the network where computers solve mathematical challenges to validate a transaction. Once a computer solves a puzzle, the answer is broadcast to the network where computers verify the answer. If the answer is approved by the network, the transaction is made and the puzzle is put away. All of the following puzzles are tied together, creating a string of challenges. This system had many unsolved issues and loose ends and was thus never implemented. Bitcoin. After many years, the first distributed blockchain was conceptualized by an anonymous group or person using the name Satoshi Nakamoto. No one still knows his, her, or their identity. Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper called Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system, in 2008, describing the idea behind Bitcoin: electronic currency that is run on blockchain technology and that is not controlled by any central authority. The following year, in 2009, the concept was made a reality with the creation of Bitcoin. This marked the beginning of public blockchains and cryptocurrencies. Fun fact: there are people who vigorously investigate the origin of Satoshi Nakamoto and who it is. It has gone as far as major media outlets claiming they have found out who the inventor was. The most famous case was when Newsweek claimed that a man by the name of Dorian Nakamoto is Satoshi, which disrupted the man's personal life and caused him to sue Newsweek. There are also claims that the inventor of BitGold, Nick Szabo, is Satoshi Nakamoto because the two share a similar writing style, use the same operating systems, etc. Blockchain 2.0. With the invention of Bitcoin, the popularity of cryptocurrencies and blockchain took off. More and more currencies were made, and new applications for the blockchain technology were developed. The main concept behind Bitcoin was that it acted as cash for the internet, allowing users to make transactions without the need for middlemen, like banks, but that was it. More and more uses for the blockchain were developed, and by the year 2014, the technology had advanced to the point where users could use the blockchain beyond digital currencies. This is called Blockchain 2.0. These advancements meant that in addition to the transactions with digital currencies, users could create smart contracts, companies could create certificates for sending their owners dividends, and people could easily authenticate and sign documents. Blockchain today. Blockchain technology has evolved tremendously. People working on blockchain technology are developing new applications almost every day, solving problems many experts thought could never be solved. Blockchain is showing its usefulness in almost every sector of business, starting from the use of cryptography to seal digital documents and prove ownership, to being able to track a can of tuna throughout its journey, from sea to supermarket, from first being caught to processing, logistics, shipping, and ending up on your plate. Blockchain food traceability. From an idea on paper to a currency that has risen from nothing to over thousands of dollars in the span of 10 years, we are now able to trade different cryptocurrencies in real time and use cryptocurrencies to buy products in physical and online stores. What the future holds for blockchain technology is impossible to predict. It might be the thing that changes the world forever, or not. Only time will tell. Blockchain as a service covers the following: smart contracts, which includes uses of supply chain, digital rights, wagers or bets, escrow, and ERP, or enterprise resource planning. Blockchain as a service also covers digital currency, which can be used in e-commerce, global payments, remittance, P2P lending, and microfinance. Blockchain as a service also covers securities, including equity, private markets, debt, crowdfunding services, and derivatives. Lastly, blockchain as a service covers record keeping, including healthcare records, title records, ownership, voting, and intellectual property. Case study number 4. Estonia's national blockchain and e-solutions, becoming e-Estonia. Estonia was the first country in the world to implement blockchain technology on a national basis. It started building up its information society in 1997. At this time, there was no digital information being collected about Estonians, and the general population had neither access to the internet nor devices with which to use it. After years of development, Estonia rose to the forefront of technological advancement as a nation. In 2005, Estonia introduced internet voting in a nationwide election, becoming the first country to do so. By this time, Estonia had also developed its digital identity, e-tax, and e-governance solutions, cyber attacks, and blockchain. On April 27th of 2007, Estonia became the first country to be cyber attacked on a national level. The attacks targeted the websites of Estonian organizations, including the Estonian Parliament, banks, ministries, newspapers, and broadcasters. Most of these attacks consisted of DDoS attacks, ping floods, and spam bots, and targeted entire organizations as well as individuals. Estonia understood that the risk of cyber attacks will always be a part of being an information society, but the nationwide attacks acted as a serious wake-up call to remind Estonia, as well as every other country, how important cybersecurity is. In response to this cyber attack, NATO created a cooperative cyber defense center of excellence in Tallinn, the capital city of Estonia. And Estonia started testing blockchain technology to protect the country against future attacks. Blockchain testing began in 2008, even before the release of the famous white paper by Satoshi Nakamoto that described the concept of Bitcoin and attached the name blockchain to the technology. Since 2012, blockchain has been in use by Estonia to protect their national data, e-services, and smart devices, both in the public and private sectors. E-solutions. Examples of Estonia's e-solutions include the famous e-residency program that allows foreigners to have a digital identity in Estonia, allowing them to access its solutions and even open up a business in Estonia without any problems. Another example is the e-health record system, which was launched in 2008. Over 95% of data generated by hospitals, doctors, and other institutions in the healthcare industry are digitalized and protected by blockchain technology. Every Estonian citizen has their own e-health record, which can be shared with hospitals and personal doctors. This makes Estonian residents the owners of their health records while increasing security and cutting costs. Estonia is the perfect example to illustrate the benefits of blockchain technology, not only from an individual's perspective, but also from the standpoint of a country. The use of blockchain increases the security of the nation's databases, as well as saves billions of euros in costs. Case study number 5. Banking the unbanked. The world of technology has seen rapid growth in recent years. According to statistics from Internet World Stats, over half of the world's population has access to the Internet, and it grew from 0.4% in 1995 to 51.7% in 2017. Although the world is clearly evolving at an exponential pace, there are still major problems in the rural parts of the world. There are still over 2 billion people unbanked, meaning they don't have access to any kind of financial institution. Having no bank account makes having financial stability much more difficult. Imagine a store owner in Yemen who has worked hard for years and earns his money daily. In Yemen, 93.5% of the people do not have a bank account, and neither does our hardworking shopkeeper. What does that mean for him? It means that every day, when his working hours are over, he has to risk his whole day's earnings when he has to transport the cash from his store to his home. Even if he did not get mugged when passing through shady neighborhoods on his way home, he still has to keep his savings under his mattress, as he is susceptible to robbery. In addition, he has almost no opportunity to get a loan to expand his business and contribute to the country's economy. The only way he can get a loan is to get it from other people who will have him paying unimaginable interest for his loan. In another example, we have a mother with an 8-year-old daughter who lives in Guinea, where the unbanked population makes up over 90% of the country's population. In order to provide the best possible education for her daughter and allow her the ability to make a respectable living in the future, the mother has to put her daughter to study at the local school. But because she does not have a bank account, she has to pay the school's fees in cash, waiting in line with the other parents to make the payments, losing many hours from work. Now, in order to further facilitate this trend of financial inclusion, the world of finance has to become even more affordable, transparent, and accessible. This is where blockchain technology comes in. Every day in the cryptocurrency sector, we have the brightest minds on the planet working on problems many experts thought could never be solved, while using some of the most innovative technology the world has ever seen. Blockchain technology holds the keys to reaching the 2 billion unbanked, bringing transparency and justice to a broken financial system, stamping out corruption and exploitation. Everyone should realize that a collaborative blockchain is not only a network of computers around the world, but also an ecosystem of humans who are behind the computers. The mixture of humans and computers around the world working together gives means for supercharging the innovation and advancements in the industry, creating value for the world to use. This is the problem we face right now in the business world. We're still stuck in the same zero-sum mentality we inherited from the traditional economy. We don't collaborate, we compete. And many think that it is time that changed. Only through realizing the true potential of collaboration on the blockchain can we start eliminating the problems with finance and poverty around the world. In conclusion, the world of blockchain gives us endless opportunities to change the world for the better by providing financial solutions for even the most rural parts of the world, giving them increased financial stability and security. But in order to do so, we have to opt for a more collaborative way of doing business.